Alright, ladies and gentlemen, first long ride on the CRF250L. Well, long-ish. It's about an hour, so not too bad. So we're going to see how this puppy does on a relatively long ride. It's a beautiful day today, probably about, I don't know, 85, 86 degrees outside. And this ride is pretty nice, actually. It's about an hour long. It's all back roads. Hopefully I'm not blowing the mic out with you guys, but it's all really super nice back roads and just a general joy of a ride. So we got a full tank of gas. We got beautiful weather. So we're going to just have some fun and ride this little scooter as far as we can go without getting too uncomfortable. Let's see, we'll move that mic down, so yeah, it's probably better for you, so I'm not screaming in your ear. Didn't realize it was going to be touching my lips, but it should be a fun ride. We're going to be taking all back roads as far as we can. We do have to hit the highway for a little bit, which will kind of give us an idea of how this thing does on the highway. It's running stock gearing, so we've got, like, I think it's 1440, so there's 14 tooth in the front and a 40 tooth in the rear. And I didn't want to change it because I still wanted some highway speed, and you know, being that I'm in my 40s, I'm not into the whole wheelie thing and all that other crap. So you know, it's just not something that I was concerned about. I was more concerned with rideability and, you know, being able to ride on the highway if I needed to, and, you know, ride comfortably without being at a billion RPM everywhere I go. So I think this was the best of all worlds, actually. So, oh wow, they put a camera up. Can you guys see that? They put a camera at the top of the light because everybody blows that freaking light. But yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. This ride is the ride that I use every year to make or break the bikes that I buy. If it performs well on this ride and it's comfortable and we enjoy it, then we keep it. And that determines whether or not we keep it this season, or if we keep it for the whole year, we keep it for 2 years or 3 years. But this ride is definitely a long one, and it's kind of the deciding factor of whether or not I save these motorcycles. And there's been quite a few that I've owned that just didn't make the cut when it came to this ride. This is quite a long one. But just so you guys know, this is a 2016 Honda CRF250L dual sport, and it basically has about 20 horsepower, very minimal torque. It's nothing spectacular. With the factory gearing and the supermoto wheels that I have on it, probably looking at a top speed of about 70, maybe 75 if we're lucky, but we're not going to push it that hard. It does have some aftermarket stuff, like I put aftermarket handlebars, Pro Taper fat bars, it's got aftermarket grips, it's got the Zeta handguards, it has Warp 9 Elite wheels, front and rear, got a DID Gold X-Ring chain, it's got a few little, you know, tweaks here and there. Suspension's all stock, gearing is all stock. You know, for the most part, it's a stock bike. Nothing crazy. I wanted reliability over anything else, and you know, we picked it up pretty cheap, and then managed to get the rest of our parts pretty cheap as well. So we're not really into this thing for a whole lot of money, but so far it's provided a whole lot of fun. Taking this thing out for, you know, some quick blasts. I've had it out for an hour here, an hour there, but I've never actually gone for a longish ride with it. So we're gonna see what it's like at this point. So alrighty, so we're in a neat little town called Durham, Connecticut, and a big farming town. There's actually a ton of little farms, ton of larger farms, still a lot of farmers markets and things of that nature. It's got basically one main route that runs through it, and that's 17, which is what we're going to be on now. And we're headed towards Middletown so that we can head over this pretty kick-ass bridge. Alright guys, we are now in downtown Middletown. This is Main Street, Middletown. It's actually a pretty cool place. And you'll see as we ride down, it's got a lot of this area has remnants of, you know, what it was like back in the early 1900s. And it's just a super cool place. A lot of really old buildings and a lot of really cool stores and all kinds of other neat stuff. It's so funny watching the police watch this thing, and then it goes by and they see the plate on it and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's cool. But I spent a lot of time when I was a kid down here because there's a hobby shop called Amado's, and Amado's was just a really, really kick-ass place. And my phone's ringing. I mean, a lot of these buildings are new, but they've been made to look old because a lot of the older buildings are really cool and historic. And a lot of this area was a historic district for many years, and I think a lot of it still is actually. But super cool, especially in the summertime, because you got a lot of outdoor eateries and, you know, nice little bars and stuff. And if, you know, if you're the drinking kind, there's a pretty good amount of nightlife down here. But the toy store, or the hobby shop, is right up here on the left-hand side. Amado's Toy and Hobby was the largest, at one point was the largest place in Connecticut where you could buy radio control stuff. And being that I'm a huge nerd, I was big into the radio control stuff. And then there used to be a place right here where the music store is and where Irreplaceable Artifacts is. It used to be called Mitch's Place, and it was like just a huge, almost like a flea market, but it wasn't really a flea market. It was super interesting. The amount of stuff they had in there was just like, you know, weird electronics and high-end stuff and low-end stuff. And I think it was, you know, one of the first iterations of companies that cleaned out homes of, you know, people who had passed away and whatnot. So it's kind of a cool little thing. But then you see as you get down here, it gets a little bit more historic. And then we're going to be going over the Arigoni Bridge. And the Arigoni Bridge ties Middletown to Portland, and it ties it across the Connecticut River. So it's a pretty cool bridge. I used to love it as a kid because as a kid, when I was younger, it was all steel deck, and you could see, God, that's loud. It was steel deck, and you could see right through the bridge. So when my family and I would go camping, we would drive over this bridge, and I would love looking down because you could see right through the bridge. And then, you know, a bunch of years ago, they paved it, so you can't see through it anymore, which kind of sucks, because that was one of the cool features of that bridge that I love so much, was being able to see down into the water and, you know, whatever. And I obviously didn't have a huge fear of heights back then. I still don't now. So it was always fun and interesting to me to see it. So as soon as this light goes green, we'll be coming around the corner up there where all those cars are coming from, and we'll hit the bridge. Ooh, look at that. They're working on it again. They must be fixing some of the pavement again. But you can see how cool this bridge is. Yeah, they're fixing the other side of it. But it was just, you know, as a kid, this was the coolest thing ever. I used to love riding over this bridge with my parents, and, you know, I mean, look at that. Just enjoy that. How cool is that? You got the Connecticut River on both sides. There's a neat little rotating train trestle bridge over there that, you know, I always used to love, because every now and then you'd catch it rotating and it was super cool to see boats going through it. But it's just an awesome thing. And you know, sometimes we forget about the little things that we used to love when we were a kid, and when you see them again, or when you're out riding a motorcycle and it's just you, there's no distraction, there's no nothing, and you get an idea, and you get that sense of, you know, enjoyment again, like it was when you were a kid, when you didn't have any other worries. So it's part of why I enjoy riding so much. It's just that, you know, the satisfaction and the happiness you get out of it really can't match. Nobody's bugging you, phone's ringing, you can't answer it, text messages going off, you can't answer those either. You know, it's just all around a nice reprieve from the general world. And those of you that ride, I'm sure, would agree. You know what it's all about. But the rest of this now is, you know, Route 66 in Middletown. This is a very old route. It runs all the way from Meriden, all the way up through Portland, Middletown, runs into East Haddam, East Hampton. Kind of a cool little street. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna shut the camera off. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the ride, and we'll stop at our normal halfway point, and I'll give you guys an update. Alrighty, so we made it to our slightly more than halfway point with our gorgeous CRF250L. And so here's a funny thing. You see people all the time online that are riding these dual sports across countries, across continents, everywhere, and you think to yourself, wait a second, that's a 250cc motorcycle that has about 20 to 22 horsepower, and you're gonna ride this across country? Here's a funny for you. My hands are fine, except for the fact that they're black from the gloves and sweating, so that's wonderful. But this thing is literally the most comfortable bike I've owned. I've got zero handlebar vibration, zero foot peg vibration. I don't know how it's doing it, but it's holding 60 miles an hour beautifully. It's super comfortable. The only thing that's mildly uncomfortable right now is my butt, but it's stock seat still, and that's literally the only thing that is even mildly uncomfortable at this point, is my rear end. Not that you guys wanted to know that, but other than that, this thing is absolutely amazing. And who would have thought, for, you know, less than $4,000 you could end up with something like that? So we're at the halfway point. We're going to be looking at crazy rednecks driving their trucks by, because that's where we are. And yeah, we're going to head to Mohegan Sun Casino very shortly, which is only about another 20 or 25 minutes from here. So I'm gonna rest up a little bit, try to clean all this schmutz off my hands. That's funny. And yeah, we'll see you guys in a bit. Alrighty, so we are about to get on the highway with a dirt bike, which should be interestingly fun, but we shall see. This will be the true test. And now, mind you, the speedometer is about 5 to 7 miles per hour fast because of the tires. So we'll see what we can get to speed wise here. Which I think we'll be able to keep up with traffic pretty good, because it feels pretty good. So we'll see. I mean, it says 79, so we're probably doing, I don't know, 71, 72, and we're not even wide open, which is about what I expected. I mean, come on, let's be serious, guys. This thing's a dirt bike, so you're already pushing it at 70. See what we can get to 80. Wide open now. 81. That's about what I expected. So we're probably doing 70, 72, somewhere around there, I would imagine. But we don't want to keep this thing pinned the entire time. There's no sense in it. But I mean, for, you know, short highway jaunts like we're doing here, about 10-15 minutes on the highway, we'll be fine. Come into view. This place is very cool. There it is. Right on the Thames River, the Mohegan Reservation. This is where a lot of us Connecticut people come to donate to the Mohegan Reservation. Where everything is 3 times expensive than it should be. But still pretty cool. We're gonna head up into the Indian Summer Garage. We'll end up right up on the roof. Hopefully we don't hit our head on the 7-foot tube. Dunk. Ooh. Looks like it's not too busy today. I mean, this is actually quite a few cars on the roof, more so than normal. We'll see what kind of a parking spot we can get here. Normally this whole section over here is empty, but look how cool that looks. Oh, look at that. We might have one right here. We do have one right here. How cool is that? Well, we made it. Pretty cool looking place. Take a quick walk over here and check out the building and such. But this is a super cool place. These are the rides I love making. We got the whole casino down there, casino entrance. We're actually going to be walking down that hallway into the casino to grab some food in a little bit because I'm starving. We got the main hotel, the secondary hotel. This, I think, is the whole Mohegan Sun Arena. And then there's a ton of shops and everything else all down in there, food places and everything. And unfortunately, we can't really film inside there, so I'm not going to be able to take you guys in with me, but very cool place. Very cool. It's no Vegas, but it's what we got here in Connecticut. Alright, so we had to make one final fuel stop because this thing only has a 2-gallon tank. I think that's the one Achilles heel of this that we'll have to fix, but let's see how many miles we did. Alright, so we did, let's just call it 100 miles on 1.4 gallons of gas. So, I don't know, you do the math. That's a lot. 1.4 gallons and 100 miles. Good gas mileage. Alright, so now we're going to start the rest of the journey home, and I'll time lapse it for you. And we're back. we have made it successfully from our casino trip. This freaking little thing, man, what an amazing bike for what it is. Like, we literally picked this thing up for $3,700 and put another couple thousand into it, so I think probably into it for $5, maybe $5,200 total. We did 132 miles today on about 1.75 gallons of fuel, not even 2 full gallons. So absolutely insane. Didn't find any quirks with it, nothing's crazy, nothing's going on. The fork seals are leaking, but we knew that from the get-go. But other than that, we made it back, we made it safe. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I might be doing more of these in the future, it depends on how many views it gets. But I kind of wanted to show you a little bit about, you know, a roundabout area that I live in. So it's kind of cool. And, you know, always heading to the casino for my Johnny Rockets is key. But if you guys made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. 98% of the views on my channel come from non-subscribers. So you guys out there that are watching this video that aren't subscribed, just hit that subscribe button. It makes me happy. And on that note, I gotta go to the store and I'm going to bed. So I'll see you guys on the next one.